Alright guys, it's Copper Cutlass, and today's video is about fuck-ups and fix-ups, right? So, in the last video you saw that we torqued down all of our rod caps, we measured everything out on our homemade rod vise, and I do got a little bit of a mess I have to clean up, but do understand that I had an oh shit moment that night. So later on that night, after I got the rod caps all set up, I go to set the crank in because I'm like, well, it's a good time to set the crank in. Set up our rear main seal, which we did. We did all that. And I go to torque down everything. And something felt a little off on the number 2 bolt. So I went back and just re-clicked everything. But when I re-clicked this one, it turned a lot. And I'm like, that's not good. So I just went with it and turned it. I'm like, if something's going to break, something's going to break. You know when a bolt starts to stretch or something, which these are like hardened studs, so I'm not going to break them with a torque wrench. I ended up pulling the threads out of the block. And after some research, yes, I was suggested a metal type insert, which the kits are actually very common for Harley engines, from what I was finding online. And but I ended up doing a helicoil. So I called my machinist the next day. I told him what happened. He just asked me what helicoil kit I needed. He probably had it, and he did. And I went with the longest, which is just a little over 3/4 of an inch, which actually covered most of our stud. So it's not just a shorty helicoil in there. We got a nice length in there. Red Loctite it, all that, drilled it. But the crazy part is that I didn't want to take this back apart. I didn't want to risk stretching or overdoing something. At this point, I'm just a little paranoid. But we're going to have to roll with it because I was able to torque down all of the studs and everything. Everything is good. But I masked off the engine. I draped over some lint-free hospital gowns that we had lying around, and I drilled it and I cleaned it. I took that tape back off, and then I cleaned, and then I put fresh tape on there, and I started tapping it. Then I took that out, and then I cleaned again. And it took me a good bit of time to get it done properly, and I took my time to get it right. And ultimately, I think we are good. We got our shim stock on there still. Everything, you know, the crank spins really, really nice. Nothing is tight at all. I mean, this thing moves great. When I rotate the engine on a stand, if I rotate it fast, I'll catch the crank doing one of these. So we don't have a lot of rotational drag on this, which is really good. And from here, I am going to move forward with the piston and rod assemblies probably tomorrow. I'm going to clean up today because I got a mess. This oh fuck moment kind of stopped everything, and I had to really think about what I was doing because I didn't want to fuck it up. So again, there might be a little bit of controversy on doing the helicoil there, but from some research, it should be fine. It should hold. I mean, the helicoil insert's fairly strong. And I mean, everything torqued on great, and we're good. At least I think we are. So I'm going to just go ahead and just put the pictures of the process on there. You guys can kind of see what I did. But it was pretty straightforward. You know, besides the fact that I didn't remove the entire crank out because I'm a little paranoid about, you know, now moving and removing. This engine has been apart and together quite a few times, so it didn't surprise me that something like the threads kind of got fragged up, but it is what it is. You know, this is probably going to be the last time something like this goes together. I think from here, I'm planning on doing something nicer. I want to do like a kind of like an old school combo, a 362 with like a 425 piston and a Chevy rod. Chevy rods are fairly cheap. You can get some strong ones for a fair price. Yes, I can get Oldsmobile rods, but if something happens, the availability is kind of hit or miss. So I'm trying to find something that will be readily available and will work. And I think the Chevy rod combo will be our best bet. So I think moving forward, we have great top end components on our other engine that we can put onto a better short block, and I think it's just a matter of investing the money in a better short block, something that is going to be more long term, do a roller cam, solid roller cam, you know, with the bushings in it, not the rollers, and we're just going to build something that down the road is going to just keep giving us service. So I'll let you guys go. Share, like, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram as Copper Cutlass, and we'll see you guys around.